Hello and welcome to my new moon video. This is for the new moon in Aries, and this is actually quite a new moon because already the full moon was quite heavy, but this new moon is really something. And in my cards, what is really beautiful is that the theme is actually very positive, and we will see later when I talk a little bit about the astrology that there is a great fire trine, and it is a very fiery energy with the sun, with Jupiter, and with passion. We are really longing to have passion in our life, to have lust in our life, to shine and to let others shine. So there is a yearning to go out and to experience adventures, to experience new life, to experience a lot of joy with others, to experience with Jupiter expansion. But the cards also say, well, there had been something we realized or we heard of that was really not so pleasant. With Iago, it means that the theme was around betrayal, that the theme was around some form of intrigues, or that we even betrayed ourselves. So the message might also only be internal, that we realized I betrayed myself, or we realized someone betrayed us. It is something that might have brought us to our knees, like with the card prayer, where we didn't know how, where is the solution. I don't see how I can find a solution with that. Yeah, prayer says I feel overwhelmed, and I know that it is not a solution that will come out of my head. It is a solution that I can only pray for, that it comes. And I pulled some cards that would clarify that. And it seems that the realization that we had, whether it was brought to us by a message from someone else, or whether someone else hurt us, or whether we realized something, this is not really clear to me, but it seems that it is something that really hurt us. And with ignorance and with the underworld and with sorrow, it seems to me that if we are really honest, we have to admit that this betrayal went on for quite a time. So that it's not something sudden, but that something was wrong already for a period of time, and we didn't want to see it. Or someone else refused to see something dark happening in their life and they projected it onto us, or we projected something onto someone else. This is not clear, but it is something where there is betrayal because there was a refusal to see the truth. There was a refusal to act on the truth. There was a real strong form of denial, and because of that now we suffer even more. And now we really are on a journey through the underworld where we have to let go of everything. Maybe we find things that we had again, but at the moment it is not a time to cling on to things. It is a time to let go. It is a time to surrender and to say, I don't know what the healing will be. I don't know what the good is that will come, but to heal I have to let go. I have to let go of my right for anything. I have to let go of any justification. I just have to surrender, I have to forgive, and I have to move on. Because it was quite hefty what happened. And the beauty is that in the near future there is still a Reschgegal, but there is also twin flames, and there is Isis. And we will see that Isis is also connected to the new moon. So there is a promise or a potential for healing, and a potential for healing the deepest and most intimate relationship that we have. And twin flames to me are souls that are one and not one. So they are two strands of a helix, like the DNA double helix. Everyone who talks about twin flames talks about the union that we first and foremost have to have with ourselves. And this is also a sacred union. We cannot have a sacred union outside when we are not in sacred union with ourselves. And this new moon is an invitation to come back to the sacred union with ourselves. Aries is the first sign in the zodiac, so this new moon is in Aries, and Mars is an energy of separation because it is an energy that goes out and says, this is what I want, but it is a very me-I energy, and that can be positive when we say it is my intention to use that strength and that power to say it is my intention to stay in that sacred space no matter what. I know that I'm hurt, and I know that I might experience difficult encounters with others, but there is a possibility of deep healing when I have the discipline and have the power to stay in my sacredness and to really feel this connection, that the sacred union with my soul, and just guide me through this. I cannot do this alone. I need guidance. Help me. I need guidance. I'm too wounded, I'm too hurt, and I also see that others are too hurt. If you are not hurt, then you might experience it in your very close relationships, but there is a lot of pain in relationships coming up. And if I allow to stay in my sacredness as much as I can, then it is possible for me to experience a new lust for life and a new lust for adventure and a new impulse to have new connections. This is also a time when we are able to cut off evil forces that were in us or that were vivid in our relationships, and to bring in new energies. This is the Aries promise, this kind of, it is a time for new energies to come in. And when we look at the new moon, then we will find very similar themes I had in my cards, because the new moon is at 23 degrees with Mercury, Ceres, Isis and Aries. And Aries is the goddess of discord. She is the one who started the Trojan War. She is the one always making trouble because she doesn't feel seen or heard. So I would say this might be a time of also a lot of social unrest, a lot of anger in society, maybe even destructive events. But because it is with Venus and because Mars, that is with the North Node in a wide conjunction, and the asteroid Deianeira, that is the wife of Heracles that was abused by Nessus, so she has to do with abuse, and this is in opposition to Juno. So there are a lot of, with Juno and Venus, there are planets that really point into the direction of relationships. So there is a lot of anger coming up in our relationships. There is a lot of resentments coming up in our relationships. With Ceres, it has also to do with a lot of losses that we experience. It is also square to Pluto, and Pluto is where we distrust life because we feel so hurt. This is one dark side of Pluto. The light of Pluto is the power of love, the power of our soul that wants to experience, or the divineness wants to experience life through being alive. But the shadow is that because I feel so insecure, because life is not safe, I have to control everything, and if I do that, then I kill all life. So it is a very extreme planet, and with the square to Pluto, and especially between Aries and Pluto, which is going on for a long time, but now with the moon and the sun, with this new moon, it is triggered. So I would say there is a huge theme coming up around themes where we felt not heard, where we felt not seen, and because these are such existential wounds, we feel like we have to control everyone and everything. And if we try that, then love has never a chance to live, and then there is only destruction in the end. I mean, in shamanism, the greatest gifts that healers give, or the sacred circle gives, is that it allows people to be seen and it allows people to be heard. And this is the greatest gift, or one of the greatest gifts we can give to others, is that we open a sacred space for them and allow them to be seen and allow them to be heard. But before we can do that to others, we have to do that for ourselves, and to say, I have to listen to myself, I have to see myself before I really can see others. And this new moon is an invitation to do that, because if we don't, then we are like a leaf in a storm, and this new moon is like a storm. And there is a fire trine between Juno in Sagittarius, the asteroid Lucifer in Leo, and the new moon. And fire trine is always beautiful because fire has to do with life force. What we saw in my cards, there is a huge lust for life, there is a huge wanting to expand and to experience beauty and joy. So this is the fire energy, and it is very beautiful. But with Lucifer, we have to really be aware. Where the asteroid Lucifer stands in our chart means this is a point where we really have to be aware to love ourselves. Because if we don't, then we are victims of the darkness, or we give us to the dark side. So we really have to love ourselves. The asteroid Lucifer is a demand of spirit. You have to love yourself. If not, you are in danger. Your inner shadow will overpower you. And what does that mean, to love yourself? There's also an answer in the chart with semi-sextile to Neptune and Osiris that says loving yourself means coming into your sacred connection with your soul. This is loving yourself, and to say, I am a loved, beloved child of God. And Osiris says, my birthright is to be loved, and because my birthright is to be loved, I deserve to feel love for myself, no matter how wounded I am, no matter how many mistakes I did, no matter what I did wrong. If I did wrong, I can do better. If I hurt you, I can apologize. If you hurt me, I can forgive. But the first and most important thing I have to do is to be in this space of love that is in me and that has never left me, and that is always there, this core of my soul, and that is connected to my spirit. I mean, this new moon will be like a hurricane, will be like an outburst of forces. So there is an invitation to say, let me surrender to my soul and let me stand as a fortress of love against a storm of pain and rage. Let me stand as a fortress of love against a storm of pain and rage. So I would say this is the energy of this new moon. And if we do that, then there might be a huge opportunity for healing and for allowing others to heal and for allowing ourselves to heal and our relationships to really improve. And Aries is also an invitation for a new life, for a new era, for a new cycle, and to say, let's have a new cycle in our relationship to ourselves and in our relationship to others. It won't be easy. With this new moon, we know it won't be easy. It will be a storm. One way or another, the next weeks will be a storm. But let us do our best to be a fortress of love. I wish you all the best in that. Lots of blessings. Till next time, Namaste.